Hello, it's been such a long time. I'm back in Florida for a season, and I am in Central Florida. So it has been quite cold these last few weeks. Just wanted to quickly show my Goldenberry plant. This is one of the best ones that I have right here. This is all one, and then I have this other one right here in this pot. And I also have two more right here, which haven't done too well. This one right here and this one right here. Of course, it is very sandy soil. I didn't prepare the soil very well. I had limited resources, and I just made do with what I had. And I had buried some food scraps in here for the compost, but it's still obviously not done the best. As you can see, some yellowing on the leaves, but you can also see quite a few fruits right here. You see, these are the husks with the goldenberries inside of it. These have not ripened yet, and this is some new growth, and it's doing a little bit better. I have a little compost pot going, and I would put some of the compost in here every once in a while to boost it, as I see. And I don't need to do it again. So yeah, there is some fruit on this. But let me show you the one plant that is doing the best in here. And this is the Physalis Peruviana. So this one grows upright versus the Physalis Pruinosa, which more is like a, what do you call that? It just sprawls on the ground. And I didn't plant any of that this time because I am currently renting, and our landlord, which also are our friends, are actually allowed us to plant here in the ground on the side of the house. So I have this one, and it's been doing really well, and I've already harvested some fruits, but as you can see here, I got some really good ones here. And you probably can't really tell too much, but the size of these husks, but this one is like the biggest one I've ever grown on my own. I'll have to grab one to give you one of the ones I've already picked to give you a size comparison, but this one is pretty big. I don't know. Let's see. What's the best? Okay, here. Let me see. So, if you can see, here's my. I don't want to pull it. I don't want to break it off because it's not quite ripe yet. But so here's my thumb, and you can see it's quite big. It's probably like 1.5 inches. But yeah, you can't really tell too much. But I got lots of fruit here, and I already picked some. But yeah, and so there's more fruits over here. And let me show you quick here. Here's one of the flowers that just is about closing and should set fruit. But yeah, and I noticed that you can definitely kind of tell the size of the husk that it will be by the size of the flower, because these definitely have been bigger, and they than some of the other ones, and the smaller flowers end up being smaller husks versus the bigger flowers. And so here is a size comparison. As you can see the brown one, the brown dried husk. This one was picked maybe a few weeks ago, and you can see size difference between the two, between this one and this brown one. So just to show you a variety of sizes, they can end up growing depending on, I guess, how well the plant is fertilized. And so I'm excited to harvest that big one. But just wanted to show you here real quick some of the size differences. Some of the ones that I've harvested recently. So obviously the green ones are just more recently harvested. This one is, as you can hear, starting to really dry out. This one I just harvested today. So, and as you can see inside, very bright golden. Looks absolutely yummy. That's the color that you want when it's fully ripe. And these, see, very golden. So it's like a yellowish orange color, but man, they taste so good. And it's for me, it's really hard to describe, but I've heard it described as a cross between a pineapple tomato. I guess I can taste a little bit, a tiny hint of tomato. I'm not a fan of tomato, but this fruit I really like. So I highly recommend growing some. And this plant is a perennial. So plant once and you can have it for quite a while. And also you can also propagate by making cuttings. So you would, just like many other plants that you can propagate by cuttings, cut a stem, take off the bottom few leaves, and then either put them right into the ground or soak them in water for them to sprout some roots, and then plant them into the ground. So you can get tons of plants. Like if I was to cut a whole bunch of these stems, and I can get a whole bunch more plants out of them. And I kept this one in the pot because I didn't have any more room anywhere else to plant it. So I left it here, and the previous spot that this pot was in, it started to root through the bottom of the holes in this pot. But I ended up moving it here so that it can kind of lean up against the wall here, because it gets very floppy as it grows tall. And so it's just so obviously this is a really old stem that, as you can tell, it's not doing very well. And these are the newer stems and leaves. The leaves are very soft and fuzzy, and I can tell it already started to root through the bottom here. So soon I'll just leave it in this pot and it can grow that way, and then easier for me to kind of fertilize and put more compost and things like that this way. And yeah, so yep, that's it. Hope you learned something from that. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comments.